This report from Audit Scotland is described as a factual commentary built on previous reports. But while noting the delays caused by the ongoing disputes, it adds that it would be inappropriate for us to make any comments that may be regarded as prejudging any issue of fact or law. It does, however, outline the problems in graphic terms, noting that it is possible that trams will not be operational until at least 2013. Looking at the costs of the project, it says that TIE has spent a total of £402 million on Phase 1 to the end of December 2010, representing 74% of the available funding. It goes on, TIE has, however, indicated that it's unlikely that all of Phase 1A can be delivered for £545 million, the total original budget for the project. The media picked up strongly on the report's comment that a number of staff have left TIE in recent months and others may also leave, creating a risk that it may lack the necessary skills and experience to complete the project. The first point we put to TIE's Chief Executive.
The report highlights a very real risk. What the report says is that if further staff leave the organisation, that may create a skills gap. Well, that's a risk that I wholeheartedly agree with, and it's something that I've already discussed with the board. It's vital to me that we retain the skills that we have in this organisation to make sure that we are able to deliver the best possible outcome for the public purse and to make sure we get these trams running. What the report does not say, and in fact I've spoken to the report's author and who has confirmed to me that there was no intention in the report to suggest that TIE currently lacks the skills necessary. This is all about whether or not, given the current circumstances, we're able to retain the skills that we have within the organisation.
But these are expensive people, and the report indicates that you've actually used up something like 3/4 of your budget. Can you actually afford to keep them?
Well, I think there's two issues there. First of all, you've talked about the budget, and it's true that the project has taken longer than is expected, and that's cost additional money. Just over £400 million has been spent to date, £406 million, against an original budget of £545 million. It's worth remembering that this project consists of a number of different discrete elements of work and a number of different contracts, most of which are now complete. When we talk about the infrastructure works being 28% complete, that's only one part of the overall project, and in fact the infrastructure works themselves are less than half of the total budget of the project. So it's misleading to compare the total spend on the whole project with the progress on the infrastructure works. That being said, the infrastructure works progress is disappointing and is behind where it should be and where it needs to be. In regard to the retention of skills, of course we always have to find a balance between paying people the going rate for the job, making the working environment a positive place where people want to work, but at the same time being protective of public money and making sure that we get good value for that for every pound that we spend, whether that's on salaries or whether that's on payments to the contractor.
The report asks if some changes actually need to the future governance of the project. In particular, they're suggesting that Transport Scotland should be brought back on board. Would you welcome that?
I'd welcome anything that simplifies the governance on this project. The board and the shareholders are well aware of my concerns over the governance on this project. The governance is, I think, overly complex and could be simplified, and I welcome the fact that Audit Scotland have highlighted this in their report. As to the involvement of Transport Scotland, I've made sure that I've kept Transport Scotland fully informed of all of the risks and the progress of the report of the project as the project has progressed. And of course I'd welcome any input, whether it's from Transport Scotland or anyone else, any input that helps me try to resolve the current difficulties on this project and get the project moving.
You now have a new chairman in the form of Vic Emery, who has something of an international reputation for sorting out troubled projects, particularly in the shipbuilding industry. Are you happy that he's now on board?
Absolutely, I'm delighted that Vic's taken on the challenge of joining as our chairman. I've already met Vic on several occasions, and I think we're going to have a great working relationship. I'm really looking forward to working with him, not just on resolving the current disputes and the current issues, but also working with him on how we take the whole issue of the trams and public transport forward into the future.